Okay, 1 minute and we begin. I hope all of you can hear me clearly. Can you confirm, Yuchen, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Hello, Borja. It's okay. I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much, all of you, for coming today to our side event at the 5th United Nations Conference on the Least Developed Countries. For those who are here in the room and for those who are at home, welcome all to this side event organized by INBAR. Today we are going to be talking about how to upscale investments for a proper bamboo industry and enterprise development for enhancing livelihoods and environment in LDCs. Along this week, we have been hearing a lot from governments, from stakeholders, from civil society, from intergovernmental bodies about how to enhance with concrete actions, how to help countries to graduate from least developed countries to developing countries. We at INBAR have been working for 25 years to support our member states to build an industry to support economic, social, and environmental development using bamboo and rattan. So today we will hear several examples of how we can enhance these efforts to help LDCs to graduate, to create economic development, to create social and environmental development, as well as to create enterprise models that can be replicated across different regions. So we have today our Excellency, the Minister of Natural Resources and Climate Change of Malawi. He will be delivering a keynote speech. Minister, thank you very much for being with us today. We also have the Director General of INBAR, His Excellency Ambassador Aline Chumo. Thank you, Ambassador, for supporting us today here also. And we have a panel of different speakers from recognized institutions who have been helping the bamboo sector, either from the private sector or civil society or INBAR itself. So with that, I would like to set up the tone of today's side event by giving the floor firstly to the Director General of INBAR, His Excellency Ambassador Aline Chumo. Ambassador, you have the floor.
Your Excellency Dr. Michael Uchi, Minister of Natural Resources and Trade in Malawi.
Ambassador, can you come and sit here, because otherwise the people at home cannot see you.
Okay. I come there?
Yes.
Maybe I should stand up?
Here.
Okay. Okay.
Your Excellency Dr. Michael Uchi, the Minister of Natural Resources and Climate Change of Malawi, dear partners from UNIDO who are here, distinguished speakers and participants, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure and honor to welcome you all to this INBAR side event being held here at the 5th United Nations Conference on the Least Developed Countries here in Doha. I would like to begin by expressing our great appreciation for the generosity of the government of Qatar in hosting us this week and for being here in this beautiful city of Doha. The International Bamboo and Rattan Organization, INBAR, is an intergovernmental development organization that promotes environmentally sustainable development using bamboo and rattan. It is currently made of 50 member states, from which 22 of them are least developed countries, and the latest entrant was the Democratic Republic of Congo, and I'm glad to see the Ambassador of Congo here with us. In addition to its secretariat in China, in Beijing, China, INBA has 5 regional offices in Cameroon, West Africa, Ecuador in Latin America, Ethiopia in Eastern Africa, Ghana in West Africa, and India. INBA has also an observer status at the United Nations General Assembly and the three Rio conventions. Excellencies, we need to assert the value of bamboo and rattan as tools for economic growth that can support LDCs graduates, while in parallel we can create the foundation for further development and scale up the bamboo and rattan value chains, which in turn will provide us with alternatives to nature-based solutions that can be used for clean energy to meet our energy needs, for sustainable materials with a low carbon footprint to be used in construction, for a source of nutrition to achieve food security, for sustainable products to replace emission-intensive materials like concrete and PVC, as well as reducing the pollution caused by single use of plastics. Last but not least, it is vital to enhance natural carbon sinks with high carbon sequestration potential while reducing deforestation due to the pressure on the forests. One of the main goals of LDCs, as you know, is to reduce poverty, to propel green economic growth, and enhance our environment in the last decade. And we have been able to achieve important progress. However, due to COVID pandemic, this has exacerbated once again poverty, affecting the most vulnerable communities in the LDCs. I've already mentioned earlier some of the solutions that bamboo and rattan provide to the pressing environmental challenges. However, I cannot overemphasize enough the relevance of bamboo has to create a livelihood that support economic and social well-being. Sustaining the livelihood of peoples is a critical element in the stability and welfare of any country, but even more so in the developing country. In LDCs, millions of people depend on bamboo and rattan to sustain their livelihoods. The same is true in other regions of the world. That means we have a responsibility with millions of people to enable them to prosper and ensure they have the right tools to add value to their industries, including training, education, technological transfer, investments, as well as policies that enable the business environment of the industries. All these elements are the essence of the Doha Plan of Action and strongly connected to the livelihood environmental nexus of bamboo and rattan, reflected in Goal 1, that is regarding eradicating poverty and building capacity, Goal 2, which relates to innovation and technological transfer, Goal 5, which relates to climate change, adaptation and mitigation, and Goal 6, which relates to South-South triangular cooperation, all of which INBA, through its global projects and progress, have been implemented for the past 25 years of its existence. Ladies and gentlemen, the session today will share case studies, successful models, as well as lessons learned as a result of implementing projects and programs in LDCs that will specifically showcase the technological advancements and innovations that can be replicated and scaled up through South-South triangular technology and knowledge transfer to benefit all the LDCs, while tapping the large market potential in the developed world that bamboo can cater in. We hope today we can demonstrate the potential of bamboo as a nature-based solution for pro-poor livelihoods development, green economic recovery from the shocks caused by COVID-19, while providing environmental benefits through the through its use as food, fodder, and biomass, timber, sustainable energy, sustainable construction material, as well as a substitute for plastics, which we have made recently. We have announced an initiative to provide that possibility of substituting plastics or substitute bamboo for plastics jointly with the Chinese government. Let me conclude by thanking you all and especially our speakers today for their immense contribution to the development of the bamboo and rattan sectors, and express once again the compromise of INBA to support their efforts for the benefits of LDCs. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Alimchumo, Director General of INBAR, for your guidance and your leadership to provide INBAR the tools necessary to support our member states and the guidance to implement our projects to support LDCs. Thank you very much, Ambassador. You may change the seat with the minister so the minister can give the keynote speech. Thank you, Ambassador. So our next keynote speaker is the Honorable Mr. Michael Usi, Minister of Natural Resources and Climate Change from Malawi. Minister, you have the floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The General Secretary, International Network for Bamboo and Rattan Organization, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, let me start by thanking INBA for this strategic partnership in restoring our landscapes and also looking at issues of mitigation, adaptation, and also building resilience in the least developed countries. Malawi, as a case in question, has been affected adversely by the effects of climate change. For example, 1/3 of its power has been knocked off the grid because of cyclones. So I'm very, very happy to be here attending this very, very important meeting where we are discussing sharing cases that will help us leverage on each other's competitive advantages in the program. When we talk about bamboos in Malawi, we have a variety of bamboos in Malawi, but that variety is not good enough for making charcoal. And as such, this new variety that is being introduced in Malawi has to be included in the communication strategy so that the people that are to benefit from the program understand.
No, stop it, man.
Type of soil, the
Lola.
variety. He doesn't do bamboos. No. Now, I am saying we need to understand that the people that are supposed to benefit from this program in the least developed countries reside in the villages, in the rural areas, and they need to understand what type of variety is to be planted, where, and what are the benefits. Secondly, this is partnership. We don't and we shouldn't regard INBA as a donor, but a development partner. And as such, terms of reference for the partnership must be very, very clear, so much that the least developed countries understand the full capacity of INPR to support, and also INPR to understand the least developed countries' needs, so that there shouldn't be any shocks in the process. Because this is a strategic partnership, this is development. We have a culture, and our culture has to be understood, because culture does affect development, does affect partnership. Coming down to the actual product, I was saying the variety that we have in Malawi is not good enough for making charcoal. Now we are introducing a new variety. How does it come to Malawi? At what cost? Does Malawi have, I'm saying Malawi as an example, to be DRC, Zimbabwe, Zambia, all the least developed countries, do they have the capacity to buy that new variety at the prevailing cost? I have been told that for you to acquire one seedling, you have to pay $1. What would make a Malawian in the village having 12 to get $1 to go and buy that seedling and not to go and buy food? So these are the issues which must be discussed. Oftentimes, development has derailed because there has been a lot of assumptions which have not been verified. You may say, okay, Malawi is excited to get this project. It is true, but what are the preconditions that must be explored before we start the program? This is not to scare you away, but to enhance our cooperation. We are talking about the upscaling investment for pro-poor bamboo industry and economic development for enhancing livelihoods and development. You need, and we need, as least developed countries, to be supported. I was saying in another forum, we say the effects of climate change are increasing. The pain is growing. The biting is, you may arguably say, on the flesh or in the flesh. Very soon it will be in the bone marrow, and we'll be dealing with a more complex issue than it is now. If and when the money is there, can we expedite the processes that will see the least developed countries access the monies? Again, I would want to ask our development partner, INBAR, to get hold of our policies, the forestry policy, and other strategy documents that are guiding the operations surrounding climate change, so that you know the framework within which you must operate. Zimbabwe is not Malawi, Malawi is not Mozambique. So each country has got its own needs. And those needs are part of the strands which must inform the bricks that ensure that resilience is guarded. So it is important that we should read those documents and see how you can be guided. Now, coming to the issue of communication, we need to invest in communication. I will say again somewhere to say, in communication, what matters many times, it is not what the speaker is saying, but what the hearers think you are saying. You may be saying something, but those decoding the information may not be getting exactly what you mean. So communication must be very much taken seriously, invested, so that the local media should be an integral component of the programming. The local media, they know what language, they know times, they know where to communicate. So the media should really be a very critical, integral component of the programming. I'm saying all this because Malawi would want to have this program yesterday. Malawians are excited to have this program. They want to see that variety. And somebody talked to me, said, well, when the program starts, I'm going to abandon all crops and start planting bamboos. So excited. Is that a good idea? Maybe yes, maybe not, depending on the information that is going to get. So, INBA, you should know that LCDs are very, very grateful, and we'll do all what we can to make sure that the program becomes a success. Now, models of excellence. For one to change his way of doing things, for one to start adopting a different world view from what he's beholding, you need to have a new set of explanations. And sometimes you don't have to waste time, money in explaining, but by showing. So I'm calling upon our donor partner, ENBA, to illuminate models of excellence where the least developed countries can see what works and what doesn't work. We do not have to reinvent the wheel. Mistakes that have been made or challenges that have been made should not be duplicated in the LCDs, because that's avoidable. So let us have that understanding that we need to know what has worked well elsewhere, what has not worked well elsewhere. I conclude by saying, most welcome to the least developed countries with the program. We are happy to partner with you. We'll do all what we can to make sure that the limitations to opportunities for the least developed countries, peoples, to live their future should be broadened. Because right now, those opportunities are dwindling every day. I wish you the best, and thank you very much for being a good partner. Thank you.
Thank you very much, His Excellency Minister of Natural Resources and Climate Change of Malawi, for your keynote speech. Indeed, we agree, remember that creating an enabling framework and best practices, sharing best practices with our member states and other potential member states is very important for us. And we have a lot of examples where these replications of models which work or don't work have been applied, particularly in East Africa. So we think that they can be very useful in the future for Malawi, and we indeed will communicate with you to be able to use them also in your country. Thank you very much for your keynote once again and for your participation. With that, I will go to our first speaker today, Danaman Durai. He is the Director of Global Programs of INBAR. He will be speaking about the development of the bamboo sector globally, and particularly he will focus in showcasing the diverse product ranges and enterprise possibilities with bamboo. And also he will share with us the current status and strategies for development of the bamboo sector. Durai, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Borja. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. So my presentation is on development of the bamboo globally. So my presentation has our key element to introduce INBA, the product and the enterprise possibilities with bamboo, the current status, and the key strategies which we can adopt. So this presentation will provide a foundation for our following presenter.
So, one second. I think you have to share also your presentation in the Zoom because the audience at home cannot see it. No. LDCs. Then you share the screen.
Okay, so my presentation is on development of the bamboo globally, and my presentation is our element introduced INBAR as the organization, the enterprise and product possibilities with bamboo, current status of bamboo development, and the key strategies way which we can adopt globally. INBAR is an intergovernmental organization. It is made up of 15 member states and the Democratic Republic of Congo is our recent member. In addition to our secretariat in Beijing, we have 5 regional offices, 3 of them are in Africa. So what is the importance of bamboo? Bamboo is an important plant in the global south. It grows in about 35 million hectares. There are around some 1600 species of bamboo with 10,000 products and applications, and about some 70 billion of US dollars of internal production and consumption with a 3 billion US dollar of global trade. The advantages of bamboo is it is one of the fastest growing plant in the world. So it is annually harvestable, and you can harvest it annually by selective harvesting, unlike trees. And as I have indicated earlier, it has plenty of products and applications. It is a hardy and climate resilient crop. It has plenty of intangible benefits in addition to the economic and the social benefits. If we see from these 2 slides, this slide shows the global area of the bamboo. The other slide shows the number of countries which has been reporting the availability of the bamboo in their country. You can see the area of the bamboo is growing. So it means that, and then from the other slide, you can see the countries which are reporting the bamboo has gone down. So it means the 35 million hectares is a small area, but it has much more availability. So it needs the inventories to be done in the countries in the future, so that this 35 million hectares will be twice or thrice the available bamboo resource. So it is a resource which is available in plenty. If we see the trade value or the volume of the bamboo product, you can also see it is also increasing. In 2020, the trade value of the international trade value is about 3.4 billion US dollar. The product you can see from here, the product which has been internationally traded includes the product which are engineered, the product which are crafted, it includes furniture, it includes some pulp and paper, it includes a wide variety of enterprise possibility. So it means an entrepreneur who is producing a craft or an industry which is investing in billions of US dollar can invest and participate in the bamboo sector and benefit from it. If we see the exporting and importing countries, China is the major exporter as of now. Then the EU and USA, Japan, the developed countries are the major consumer. So as you know, the LDCs have the trade preferential agreement with the US, with the EU. So it provides an opportunity for the LDCs to benefit, to participate in this in the value chain. As I have indicated earlier, in addition to the socio-economic benefits, it has plenty of ecosystem services. Bamboo is very good for soil erosion because it holds, because of its strong fibrous root system. It is evergreen, green most of the time. It provides fodder, so it is very good for soil erosion. It is very good for water recharge. There are scientific studies which validate all these things. WinBar have done plenty of studies on this particular aspect. So now I will switch on to the second component of my presentation. What are all the value chains? Or what are all the product line? What are all the enterprise possibilities which we can do in LDC? The bamboo poles. The bamboo pole by itself is a globally important traded commodity. In EU, in USA and other parts of the world, they want the bamboo sticks for crops, for their floriculture and the horticulture industry. So developing a value chain specifically on the bamboo poles for crops, scaffolding, fencing, with like a very simple value addition can be a possibility. Then bamboo shoot is a very important food. About $300 million worth of bamboo shoot are being traded annually to USA, to Japan, to South Korea, to all. So it is like in even in Africa, in Kenya, in Uganda, around like Mount Elgon, they use bamboo shoot as a food. Even in Ethiopia, in like Benishangul region, in southern part of Ethiopia, they use bamboo shoot as a food. It is a very good functional food with high fiber content, with high nutritional value. So as our ministers have indicated, the culture is an important element. If we have to integrate food there, how will we study the culture? How will we use the media? How will we integrate there is too important. I wanted to say it is a very important food, and the bamboo leaf flavonoids, the chemical, are being used as an addition to tea, to Coke, to like some Pepsis. It is available in China. And the bamboo leaf is a very important feed and fodder for the cattle and livestock. Our projects we promoted because in some parts of Africa, in Asia, Latin America, we have problems for example fodder. So the bamboo can solve the solution of the feed and fodder for the cattle. The woven product, craft product produced at households through a proper supply chain can be a very important like market. Bamboo furniture, you can produce bamboo furniture in its whole form, or you can constitute it into a board and then produce it as like a wooden furniture. It's an important traded like some commodity also. Bamboo stick based product. If we use all the toothpicks we use, it is all produced from like some bamboo, unless it is produced from plastic, because it has a strong fiber. Like your windscreen, your curtains, table mat, plenty of bamboo stick-based product, like your barbecue sticks, is possible from like some bamboo. Textiles and fiber, like your pulp and paper. Traditionally, the pulp and paper is produced from like some bamboo. Now we have another alternative like some biomasses available. But traditionally, the bamboo pulp and paper has been produced because bamboo has a high fiber. It has a long fiber and strong fiber. So plenty of pulp and paper products, textiles like some fiber is possible with bamboo. And engineering product like a flooring board. I think you can see from our display there, plenty of engineered products are available. Any product which we can produce from wood can also be produced from bamboo. It is even superior because of its properties. You can see the whole stadium, the huge stadium in China. It is constructed with the bamboo engineered products. Kitchen and tableware. Please check the supermarket you go to buy like a chopping board, even in Africa, even in Asia, Latin America. This chopping board, half of them is produced from bamboo. So it has a huge market possibility. And currently, WinBar is intensely working on finding the bamboo for plastic alternative. The bamboo like your single-use plastic product, like your cutleries, straws, tableware, like some kitchenware, wherever we can alternate bamboo with plastics, like we are trying to do R&D and we are trying to support our member states with that. Energy. Our honorable minister have indicated about the energy. The energy is a very important element for bamboo. You can use energy biomass for like some cooking, producing charcoal pellets, but also use it for producing electricity. Technologies are available. Now technologies are advancing to produce bamboo methanol. And like methanol is produced from sugarcane, now technologies are being there available for producing bamboo based ethanol. It is also available. So many innovative products like your pipes, your windmills, like your cushions, your beds, like some fiber based product, like some cycle. We have few factories in Africa, in Ghana, in Uganda, producing like bamboo bicycles. These bicycles are being sold in developing countries. The construction, I don't want to go deep because one of our analysts will go deep into the construction. So what I wanted to present here is, you can imagine a product that could be possible from, let's say, bamboo. Plastic alternatives to fiber alternatives, any kind of products can be possible. But like, what is the current status? Current status is there is unequal awareness on the potential of the bamboo globally. Some countries are advanced, some countries are too backwards when it comes to, let's say, bamboo. There is imbalanced production and consumption. As I've indicated earlier, China takes the major lead. Though there is plenty of bamboo in other countries, it is mainly used for sustenance. It is not used for trade. It is not used for economy, but it has a huge potential. There is imbalance the resource development and management aspects. There is imbalance development of the overall sector, technology, trade, industry, economy. This is the current scenario. If we understand the global pattern, there are few gaps which are evolving. The key gaps is the data. Okay, which bamboo species is there, where, and what can I do with that bamboo species? Some bamboo are good for charcoal. We have some 1600 species. Some are good for charcoal, some are good for construction, some are good for craft. That knowledge has to be there. And where the bamboo is available, how much bamboo is available, that information is not there. We have to get that thing done. Then the agroclimate and the end use planning. If you are planting bamboo, you have to plant bamboo for the end use, not for the sake of planting bamboo. So we have to know the agroclimate plus the bamboo species plus the use. This triangle has to be there. It is too important. Then the policy, strategy and action plan, as the Honorable Minister indicated, is very important. Developing the demonstration model has to be there to know what works and what don't work. Then the capacity, the supply chain building, the market development aspect, the R&D aspect, other enabling aspect, the trade incentives, the financial, non-financial. These are all the few gaps which we understood from the by developing. There are a few myths which I wanted to say in front of all of you. All products are possible from all bamboo species, not possible. All species can grow in all agroclimatic conditions, not possible. The existing bamboo machines can work with all species, not possible. Bamboo needs no management and maintenance, not possible. It is an agriculture crop, you have to tend it, you have to manage it. Even some forestry crops, you need some management. Bamboo also needs that. I can straight away produce the product and send abroad. You have to do the graduation. Like this, the LDC countries has to graduate gradually. Not like the LDC countries will suddenly become the developed countries in one day. Similarly, we need this stepwise development for bamboo. I want to show a case from China. You can see from this slide, China took 40 years from 1980 to now to reach this high level, high development status because of their consistent effort. You can see their resource base, their trade volume is going gradually. So similarly, we need some consistent effort and some consistent input the policy direction. With that, it is possible to achieve. Then the key strategies. What are all the key strategies which we need to do? We need to do a bamboo resource development. Though you have the bamboo, it has to be brought under the sustainable management regime. If you don't have bamboo, we need to do the proper site species, agroclimate, end-use specific species planting. We need to develop the integrated value chain. Means like the integrated value chain, meaning that the waste of like in one industry should become the input of another industry. Bamboo, you can use all the parts of bamboo. 99% of the bamboo can be used for this particular thing. Then we have to undertake stage-wise development. It means the product you choose, the industries you choose, the enterprise you promote has to be stage-wise. The stage 1, what industry should we do? Stage 2, what industry should we do? Such kind of. Then we have to aim for complete utilization of the biomass. No wastage. You can see from the slide there. Because if you produce a flooring board or if you produce a toothpick, around like some 70% of your biomass is in waste. If you don't value add into another product, it becomes a waste. So then the product will become costly. Then the carbon emission is high. You have to design an integrated value chain development. You build the capacity of the people, develop the market internally, because all the government are the highest like some purchasers of the product. Develop the market internally, then like some support R&D. Develop linkages and you converge all the resources possible. You have the funds for climate change, the funds for the watershed development, you have the poverty alleviation funds. We have to integrate all our efforts. We have to develop an integrated watershed, integrated poverty reduction, so that all the resources can be converged to develop the bamboo sector. I think in the interest of time, I stop here and I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Greg, for going so deep and giving us a very good global overview of the bamboo sector. Please stay there because you have to help us with the presentation of Kuwait. So our next speaker will be the INBAR Global Bamboo Construction Program Coordinator. She is based in Beijing, China, and she will speak about how bamboo can contribute to the construction sector in these developed countries. She will be giving an overview of how bamboo, what species do we need to identify for the construction sector according to each geographical location. She will also talk about the physical and mechanical properties of bamboo, its carbon storage sequestration potential, and so on. With that, I will give the floor to Liu Kewei to talk about bamboo construction. Thank you.
Global bamboo resources. Secondly, I will explain why can we use bamboo as a modern construction material. Then I will share with you several case studies about industry experience of using bamboo as a construction material for least developed countries. And last, let's discuss what can we do in the future for those countries. Bamboo is one of the fastest growing Hello everyone, all the friends in Qatar. My name is Doha from International Founder and Retail Organization. It's my great pleasure to deliver this presentation. How can bamboo construction contribute to the least developed countries? I will share four aspects of the contents and programs. Firstly, I will introduce global bamboo resources. Secondly, I will explain why can we use bamboo as a modern construction material. Then I will share with you several case studies about industry experience of using bamboo as a construction material for least developed countries. And last, let's discuss what can we do in the future for those countries. Bamboo is one of the fastest growing on the earth. Look at this map. Bamboo is widely distributed in Asia, Latin America, and Africa. The total area accounts for 35 million hectares in 2020. Since the 1990s, global forests have been shrinking steadily, while the area of bamboo forests has increased 1.6% annually. Bamboo is really a lovely plant which can contribute to UN's 7 of UN's SDGs, and it is very close to human life. We could find more than 10,000 bamboo products in the market. Bamboo can really contribute considerable economic value in both domestic and international markets. Let's have a look at why can we use bamboo as a modern construction material. The first reason is because of its local availability. There are more than 1,600 bamboo species around the world, although we estimate that there are no more than 100 bamboo species which we could use indirectly for long-term bamboo structures. We can still find not the most common bamboo species for construction purposes in Asia Pacific, Americans, as well as Africa. The second reason is bamboo's excellent physical and mechanical properties. Bamboo has a natural, optimized structure, hollow, straight, with diet brands. Can you imagine this material? The tensile strength of parallel to fiber of some species is equivalent to that of the steel. The compression strength parallel to fiber is equivalent to which of the concrete, and its shear strength parallel to fiber is much higher than that of timber. The third reason is bamboo's carbon storage capacity. Due to climate change, global scientists are thinking different ways to help reduce the carbon dioxide. Bamboo's carbon sequestration capacity is equivalent to that of trees, which can help mitigate climate change. If we use bamboo to produce durable products, especially as structural components to be used in permanent buildings, carbon can be stored for more than 30 or 30 years. Bamboo could be good substitutes for traditional, higher carbon intensity construction material, such as concrete and steel. Nowadays, we can easily find various commercial bamboo construction products in two categories: raw bamboo and engineered bamboo products in both domestic and international markets. After harvesting and proper treatment, raw bamboo cones of different species with the age between 3 to 6 years and with diameter more than 5 centimeters can be used directly as structural components in buildings. With more stable physical and mechanical properties and uniform sizes, engineered bamboo products become more and more popular and gain commercial importance in the international markets. There are 5 major applications of bamboo for construction across the world. We can use bamboo for decorations in large-scale public buildings like art museums, theaters, airports. We can also use them in 1 to 3-story buildings as structural components. Open bamboo landscape architecture attracts more and more landscape designers nowadays. Small-scale transportation infrastructure and water pipes can also use bamboo materials. According to NBAS data, there are more than 50 countries using round bamboo or engineered bamboo materials or structures. Since 2000, NBAS has been working with global experts to start the work of international standardization for structural uses of bamboo. International standards for rock bamboo structures have been well established, while those for engineered bamboo structures are under development. Nearly 20 countries have issued their national standards on bamboo construction. Therefore, you can find various round bamboo structures in Latin America, in Mexico, Colombia, Panama, Ecuador, in Asia like Indonesia, India, Thailand, and China. Lots of engineered bamboo structures are also emerged in recent 7 to 8 years in China. Also for temporary buildings after earthquake disaster. Now, let me share some NBAS experience based on several case studies of using bamboo as a construction material for least developed countries. In 2011, NBAS worked with the Ministry of Agriculture and Forests of Qatar to help them explore how to use bamboo to replace timber for construction purposes to remain Qatar's forest cover more than 60%. We used the modern technologies and used less timber, lowered the price, and adapted existing local carpentry skills there. At the same period, we trained local workers and students by teaching them how to use raw bamboo as well as new emerged engineered bamboo as modern construction material to promote local industry through our East Africa project. In 2016, after earthquake in Nepal, NBAS organized experts to design bamboo classrooms to help post-disaster reconstruction. Local bamboo was the first time to be used legally there for classroom reconstruction. Although there is no list of developed countries in Latin America, however, what we have done in Ecuador in past 10 years can also help those least developed countries who have the same problem, such as the needs of the adaptation of climate change. Improve the design, preservation, and new engineered panels of new elevated bamboo house have been greatly lengthened the lifespan from traditional 5 years to 20 years. And above all the things, the demonstration bamboo house is not only only a durable house, but with elegant living condition. The demonstration house, which we have done during 2018 to 2019 in Ecuador, shows to the local authorities and general public how bamboo is the natural resources which can help countries to face the effects of climate change and provide practical and quality alternatives for the population through resistant building systems. For the projects carried out in India in 2017, we helped local community to identify construction species for shelter construction and provided strategies and approaches to improve the durability and capacity of disaster resistant of local bamboo houses. For 2019 BRAC construction training program aimed at training several construction professionals from BRAC based in Bangladesh to teach them how to use bamboo as a construction material, how to improve the durability, and delivered a series of training courses leading them to visit a series of enterprises located in China, showcased them how to build a modern bamboo house by using modern technologies. Actually, there are still lots of challenges to mainstream bamboo uses as a construction material, like how to make the sustainable supply chain for resources of bamboo construction species, how to make the proper harvest and mark the proper age of bamboo species, of different bamboo species, how to make the proper treatment and joints, how to develop national policies and national standards. However, I am very sure we can do something for those least developed countries who are willing to use bamboo. Firstly, I think we can help those least developed countries who have bamboo resources to identify bamboo construction species and learn how to carry out sustainable management of bamboo forests. Secondly, help least developed countries who are interested in using bamboo as a construction material to adopt ISO standards as their national standards. The third one, help them to develop the national policies for using bamboo not only for construction. The fourth one, help them to strengthen the capacity building of bamboo construction professionals by using the powerful and the expertise of the bamboo construction task force, which comprise more than 30 bamboo construction experts from nearly 20 countries across the world. The last, I think we can help them to identify the potential bamboo housing market by using one bamboo structures, engineered bamboo structures, as well as to use bamboo as components like bamboo doors, bamboo windows, bamboo ceilings, or trusses. Because of time limited, I have to close my presentation. Here I provide my email address. If you have any question, please feel free to contact me or discuss with my colleagues. Hello, everyone.
Thank you very much, Kewei, for your great presentation about bamboo construction and how we can help our member states and also other countries in the world to integrate bamboo into their housing policies or construction standards and a little bit more also to identify what kind of bamboo species they need for construction and so on. So thank you for that. And with that, because we're running out of time, I will go very quick to our next speaker, who is Jaya Wahono, who is the CEO of Green Power Indonesia. He will be talking about how to integrate land restoration and bioenergy to the development in Indonesia. He will provide some examples of community-based biomass power generation using bamboo as a feedstock, and also he will talk about a model to replace diesel gensets all over Indonesia by utilizing bamboo. So with that, we give the floor to Jaya. Thank you.
Borja, I'm here already.
Just 1 minute while we solve the technical difficulties. Yes, okay.
In my presentation, I will be discussing about our program that can combine the landscape restoration and bioenergy development with bamboo as feedstock. So I hope this is going to give some idea about how to develop this development agent in other countries as well. So, as you know, Indonesia is the biggest archipelago in the world. We have about 17,000 islands all over Indonesia, but probably around 9,000 are inhabited. But still, it's a lot of islands. Many of those islands in the eastern part of Indonesia has not been electrified fully. So it means that some area are still only have like a 4 hour, 5 hour of electricity per day. So it's very hard for local community to catch up with the rest of the country, especially with the Java Island, where Java Island is where most of the population live. It's very much in the level with the other Asian countries, around 2,000, 3,000 kilowatt hour per capita per year. That's the electricity consumption. But many small islands and also in remote area like in Timor Island in eastern Nusa Tenggara, they still have less than 200 kilowatt hour per capita per year. So this is a very hard life for all the population. The reason being because we have a state-owned utility company here called BLN, still operating a lot of diesel gensets on this island. And our idea is to replace those diesel gensets with the local renewable energy sources. And many of those islands have bamboo growing in that island. So if we can combine the biomass power plant with other types of renewable energy, just like solar PV, small hydro, and all that, then we can have a 100% renewable for that island. So that's the idea behind this project. And not only that, it will save money, but also it will give more reliable power to the local population. This is where we started our project. It's called Mentawai Island in West Sumatra province. So the idea is to have the local community to grow the bamboo, and then they sell the bamboo to the power plant, and the power plant will convert this into electricity, and we send that electricity to PLN, that's a state-owned utility company, and they will distribute electricity to the local community. This is the power plant that we built in 2018, 2018, so we built it for almost a year, and I think this was the first power plant that using bamboo that is grown by the local community. So we're quite proud about this achievement, and I think this is going to be a good development model for the rest of the country. The Minister of National Planning inaugurated this project in 2019, and he announced that this is going to be a good model for the rest of the country, and he was attending this inauguration with the local dignitaries and also other ministries of Indonesia. So it's pretty much now been a model for the whole nation. And we see this opportunity in Indonesia to replicate this model to other regions as well, because the government of Indonesia has established an entity called Indonesia Environmental Fund. So the role of this fund is to give incentive for the local community to grow bamboo, and we as IPP then they become operator of this bamboo, and we use this as a biomass feedstock. And what we provide electricity through the state-owned utility company, then the PLN will also save money. So it means that the government provide incentive not only for the local community, but also to they will be able to subsidize the electricity from the people, and we get this carbon credits that we hand over to the government, and in return government provides this incentive. So we put these findings and model into our collaboration with the C40 craft. So we discussed about how we make sure that there's a monetary return, human return, and also nature return, capital return. So it's not only that it will make money for the investor, but also it will bring multiple benefits to the locals, and it protects the environment surrounding this power plant. We also collaborate with Alliance for Rural Electrification to disseminate about this idea, and back in 2019 they published this report, and they compare the bamboo biomass power plant with the solar PV or small hydro, and the findings quite exciting because the bamboo biomass power plant create more jobs and also have a much higher emission reduction. So I think that's good news. So I think this is a model that can be replicated to other developing countries. And we are collaborating with C4, not only to produce bioenergy, but we are thinking about producing biomaterial. And bioenergy, and the whole green economy thing will help to the whole world to keep the temperature below 1.5. That's the goal, and I think bioenergy will play a big role in that. So collaboration with C4 and ICRAF is very important to us terms of disseminating this information. In Indonesia itself, we see that some huge opportunity because there's about 40 million hectares of degraded land that need to be restored, and if the government has to use their state budget, it's going to cost them like $34 billion. I think that's a big money for the country like us, Indonesia. I think the better solution is to bring in investor to invest in power plant and using the biomass from the bamboo that is grown by the local community. And this is not only will save money for the government, but also to give more benefits to the local and to the country as well. So there are a couple of key messages that we want to share in this presentation. Number one is that the bioenergy strengthen the economic incentive to private sector like us, and also community groups to undertake restoration efforts. So because the economic benefits are immediate for them, so this is much easier to show to the local community that they will get the economic benefit for the restoration. And for the private sector, of course, because of the incentive from the government, then this is going to be much better guarantee for us. And then the 4R approach that we find out with the seaboard, that's bioenergy can boost farm production and support climate and development goals. But we have to remember it has to be right crops in the right landscape, right business model, and respecting the rights of the people. And number three, the key message is the potential competition for land and raw material will be much better managed because the private sector will be the key player. Of course, if we want to keep this biomass coming without sacrificing the social and environmental aspect of the project. And CIPA and I have also identified three types of crops that will be have a big impact to the restoration. Number one is tamani tree. Number two is of course bamboo, and number two is bamboo, and number three is bamboo. So number one and number two is a policy that can be used as a biodiesel crops. Number two, of course, bamboo is much more beneficial for the biomass production. The other thing also that we find out, because we use the biomass basic technology, there's a byproduct, it's called biochar, and this biochar is, can be returned back to the soil and become carbon sequestration. And I think nowadays biochar is also recognized as a carbon removal methodology, and can be treated as scope 3 carbon emission offset, not only for Indonesia but the rest of the world. Especially for Indonesia because we have a power and industry sector that needs an offset in the long run. Biochar is also good for soil, not only soil sequestration but also soil improver. So it will help the local farmer to increase their yields. So Indonesia Environmental Fund is very much into this idea. Not only that it has more impact, but also it's much cheaper for them to do the land restoration rather than reducing emission from the energy sector. So I think for Indonesia, whatever that is going to give more benefit with a much smaller amount of money will be preferred. And the impact overall, I think it's going to be huge as well for Indonesia. Not only that we have 25,000 villages that can be improved in terms of electricity supply and distribution, but but also 40 million hectares that can be restored, and also the diesel genset can be replaced. So we normally speak, it's around 2,000 to 4,000 megawatts. And that is all today. And I'd like to get back to the moderator for question and answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jaya Hono, CEO of Green Power Indonesia. We are running out of time, so I will go directly to our next speaker, Mr. Palash Das. He's the director of the Ultra Poor Graduation Program of BRAC. BRAC is an international development organization based in Bangladesh, and he will be talking today about the bamboo treatment plant, its economic, social, and environmental benefits that have been developed in Bangladesh, and he will give us an overview of that. Mr. Palash, you have the floor. Thank you very much.
Thanks, moderator. Excellent.
Hello everyone, I'm Barazo, assistant of chairman of.
Okay. So we need more bamboo technology. Again, thanks for the excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. So I'll be trying to share with you one of the plans that BRAC established in Bangladesh. So you may not reach at the country level kind of tax scale what you heard from China or Indonesia, but the plant what we have established in Bangladesh, 3 plants, how that is helping the poorest communities, how that is helping the disadvantaged communities in Bangladesh. We'll be trying to share with you the stories. And from BRAC, we do feel that it's so good to focus on some sectors, but if it is not connected with the people, if it is not there for the poorest but disadvantaged, then I think we need to really think thrice of multiple times. So in my presentation, I will share with you some of the challenges we have faced, some of the gaps what we have seen, like from the government, the policy and actions. And the most important thing is that when we have to take actions. It's important to take actions. We don't have to really wait for everyone to come and share, support us. What's that? The other one is different. Sorry. I'll not be go down. Next slide. I'll not be touching this. Next slide. Yeah. Well, I think it's important. Let me share with you the context. I mean, many of us, I'm sure, you have heard about this Rohingya refugee in Bangladesh. Suddenly in 2017, we have seen more than 1 million Rohingyas they just entered in Bangladesh, and the Bangladesh being a poor country, we had to accommodate that. And that's in southern part of Bangladesh, the name of the place is called Cox's. And we had to accommodate them in such a way, it's not only about housing, shelters and others, but everything altogether. Then at that time, we are in tremendous pressure that how to basically support them when it's about shelter, when it's about water and sanitation, and when it is about providing other basic necessities. And in BRAC, what we do believe in that we don't have to wait for everyone. We try to find out what is really required there at that moment for the communities. And we came up with this things that how can we use the nature without harming it, and we can also support the Rohingya refugee communities there. And here comes the whole idea of having bamboo plants. With the support from UNHCR, what we did, we established immediately 3 bamboo plants there. And it took us some time. It took us a year to understand the whole thing. Then we established 3 bamboo plants in the southern part of Bangladesh in Rohingya plants. And government at that time, they didn't come up with any kind of instruction. They just told us that what you have to do, you cannot build any permanent structure. because our aim is not to keep them here. Our aim is to provide all sorts of supports, and at some point of time, they will go back. But without knowing when they will go back. So for, say, ensuring temporary shelter, we came up with these 3 plans. Now, since government, let me focus on the policy. I mean, since many of the speakers already talked about the policies, what we have seen is that the government said that do, say, come up with something which will create the temporary structures, and yes, and also we have to protect hills and the environment at the same time. We have to focus on afforestation. And they also say that there will not be any construction, say, using, say, other techniques or technologies. And here comes the whole thing. I think Minister, you have mentioned about, say, pro-poor nature-based solution. And I think this is one of the best examples what we have right now, which is basically, say, describing how can our project be pro-poor nature-based. And now from there, what we have started, and I'm not going to do this, it's basically in a year time, in 2019, we started it. In a year, in fact, not in a year, less than a year, 10 months time, we established 2 plans, and we immediately say, did the calculation of the needs there, and to what extent we can ensure the supply of this value through these treatment plants. The need is huge. But with these 3 plants, with our limited resources, we could produce more than 100,000 bamboos. We could treat more than 100,000 bamboos. But that's only fulfilling 10% of the entire requirement. Here comes the support from government. Here we do need support from other stakeholders. Here we do need support from, say, developed countries and other countries who have all this technology and the knowledge. But it's not only that. I think out of that, what we have done, the 100,000, the 70,000 we try to, say, use for the shelters who we are directly dealing with. At the same time, we provided the rest 30,000 to 35,000 treated bamboos to other agencies, and that includes, say, many UN agencies and also others. So for the first time in Bangladesh, we have seen in a different context that it's all about dealing with the Rohingya communities, dealing with the huge challenges in terms of like protecting environment, and something like we cannot say have something say permanent structure, and also like providing, say, also safety and protection to the Rohingya communities in terms of housing. So considering all of these, I think this is one of the best solutions we have ever seen, which can be truly called pro-poor nature-based solution. And it has also the mixture of the blended version of mitigation and adaptation. And we also talked about locally led adaptation. We do know in our own context that this is something can be directly linked with as a bamboo, and how that can be locally led adaptation, one of the good examples, and putting together mitigation and adaptation there. Moving on, as I say, it's a very small scale in a sense, but we try to calculate in real time what's the economic benefit. What we have seen is that using this treated bamboo, that's basically like reduce the cost more than 70%. And also it's very early stage for us. We are told that by the experts that this treated bamboo that would last for 5 to 10 years, whereas the regular bamboo that lasts for only a year. So there's a huge economic benefit using this treated bamboo. The second is that it is creating, say, like livelihoods opportunities for say poorest people, for this disadvantaged population, which are called the community. You know that government policy wise, nobody, no Rohingya, no refugees allowed to be active in the mainstream economy. But you need to keep them busy. You need to get something for them so that like they're active in their own economy. So creating jobs for them through this. I think that is another good example, which is truly say pro-poor, but targeting international disadvantaged community. Second is that I will not be touching this. The second, no, on this slide. So the talks and others, the colleague he already mentioned. Next slide. He already mentioned. But the second point is the social impact. It's very early to say something in the social impact, but what we have seen there. One is that in those kind of situations, very say vulnerable situations, the Rohingya women and girls now they do feel that their safety and the protection that has increased in many folds because they do have say good houses and other facilities. And at the same time, they are also reported that the mental stress, the physical stress, particularly for women and girls and the children, that also like can be reduced in many folds. They think that okay, they can leave their children in the shelter, and also to some extent what we are finding, the early findings that their say time in relation to say having health supports and the services that's also reduced, so they can spend more time on other purposes. These are very early finding from that. Next slide. Yes, this is so important. So even after 10, 11 months, what we have learned? We have learned that whatever you do, I think that when I started, I said, okay, you have to have a connection. You have to see when you're quality pro-poor, whatever action we are taking, are those really reaching them or not? And that helped us to strengthen our understanding in relation to targeting extremely vulnerable individuals. And we started working on that, that how the treated bamboo can be used further for them. So these are some of the extremely vulnerable individuals, some of the criteria we have identified. We are still working on them. We are designing right now, so all these housing, the shelter pattern. At the same time, the production capacity, to what extent we have to increase our production for them. So this is another I think extremely important for us who are implementing directly some of the projects. Moving on, the next slide is that in relation to environment, we haven't found anything so far that is really harmful to the environment. We went through the plant, whatever the residue we are getting, it's really useful. And what we're doing right now, we're using those residues and we make them into fertilizers. So we're using it for say kitchen gardening and others. And we are providing those to, at this moment we're testing those, but our plan is to provide those to also the small households so that they can use those. Okay, so that is basically my last point, but I would like to end saying that I'll take only 60 seconds. I think it's so important. What we have learned is that we really, whatever, through this bamboo plant, we understood that there are extremely vulnerable individuals. Targeting is important. We really need to target them very well, one. Number two, take your own time, 10 months, 1 year, 2 years, and make the plans or whatever the actions in such a way that is really helping the community. So we are working on it. The third is that most of the times, very often, in LDCs in poor countries, you find that government's policies, it takes time. It takes time. I mean, but we cannot afford say waiting there. We have to reach there. And we would like to see more and more the connections between policy formulation and actions being taken on the ground, how those are connected and how we can get the poorest communities' voices in the whole decision-making process. I think this is really important. And through this bamboo treatment plant, we learned these three things, and we are going to work on this, say, in next 12 to 24 months in Bangladesh. And to take it to slightly national level, we are going to take it out from the set that refugee camps to other places. We started seeing the benefits of it, and we take it there, but we need more government supports and policy support and other supports in relation to investment and so we take it to the next level to scale up.
Thank you, Mr. Balazdas, for this great example of the utilization of bamboo for humanitarian purposes. I would like to go to our last speaker. We are running out of time, but we will try to make it happen. Mr. Niels Schultz, he is the UNIDO Industrial Development Officer from the Division of Agribusiness and Infrastructure Development. And he will be talking about the importance of bamboo for circular bioeconomy in the third industrial development decade for Africa. Mr. Schultz is joining us online, and he will be delivering the presentation via Zoom. Thank you, Mr. Niels. You have the floor.
Hello everyone, I'm Barazo, assistant on Chairman of Bamboo Technology Group.
Excuse me, can you
It's a
stop
great honor
that?
to be invited to participate in this conference.
Yeah. Put Mr. Niels in Zoom. Zoom. Yes. I think you have to unplug it again, the HDMI.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Would you allow me to share my screen? Then
Can you help us to? What? No. Yeah, we need to share our screen in the monitor. That is your screen, not ours.
Yes,
okay.
our screen only, yes.
Okay, so
That is the Zoom.
you're presenting.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Good. In my view, it looks as the preview mode of presentation.
Mr. Vince, just give us a second to begin the presentation. 1 moment.
Okay, I think he can share the screen and start the presentation.
Okay. Yes, Vince, please go ahead. I don't think we cannot hear him.
Please share your screen and start the presentation.
Yeah, on my side it shows you cannot start screen share while the other participant is sharing. So that is
he cannot hear you,
the
unfortunately.
response I get.
It's not muted.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you able to see my screen?
Now I can see the screen he needs, but we cannot hear you.
Unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm not muted. Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Could you please speak, Neil? We will see.
Yeah, I cannot. Can you hear me?
I try to turn on the volume.
Okay. Can you hear me better?
Yes, now it's okay. Can you from here turn up the volume a little bit?
Yeah. Yes. Is it better?
Yes, now we can hear you properly. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Excellencies, ambassadors, honorable guests, it's a pleasure to be invited to speak at your event. Thank you. My presentation is titled Towards a Regenerative Circular Bioeconomy. I'm an industrial development officer with UNIDO, and we have a new unit in UNIDO on agro-innovation and bioeconomy, where I think the topics of bamboo value chains are a relevant contribution. Let me see if the slides are moving. Yeah, let me briefly present UNIDO. UNIDO is a specialized agency of the UN system promoting industrial development for poverty reduction, inclusive globalization, and environmental sustainability. We have 4 programmatic focus areas. One is on creating shared prosperity, advancing economic competitiveness, safeguarding the environment, and strengthening knowledge and institutions. We do that through 4 enabling functions, which involve technical cooperation work, analytical and research functions and policy advisory services, normative functions, standards and quality related activities. And I think the previous presentation was very useful in giving an overview of this development related to bamboo. And finally, we also do work a lot on convening partnerships for knowledge transfer, networking, and industrial cooperation. In this context, I would like to point to an activity UNIDO is implementing, that is the program on Third Industrial Development Decade for Africa, IDDA3. This is a joint initiative including areas of and not limited to innovation, technology transfer, industrial policy, ICT and Industry 4.0, productive diversification, manufacturing, agribusiness value chain development, food systems and creative industries, pharmaceutical and vaccine production, industrial parks, cluster and special economic zone development, including work on integrated agro-industrial parks, which we do a lot, particularly in Africa, renewable energy and energy efficiency, but climate action and circular economy is an area that UNIDO works on, trade capacity building and quality infrastructure, we mentioned already, human capital and skills development and entrepreneurship development, rural development, young and women empowerment and human security, private sector development, and MSME development. The areas that are highlighted in green are areas where we think that bamboo value chains play a particular role. And often we work with PPDPs or public-private development partnerships, where we, as an agency of the UNIDO, of the UN system, that is mandated to work with the private sector. This is an overview of institutions, of multilateral institutions that we're working with, including several development banks and other donors that we're accredited to draw funds from. Briefly, I wanted to highlight that we see a particular strategic relevance of bamboo value chains towards a regenerative and circular bioeconomy. You know, the concept of bioeconomy aims to generate increased income, but at the same time to reduce resource dependency and minimize waste. That it aims at creating a virtuous cycle of cleaner production, using less resources, having better designed services or products that have a longer lifetime, and that are also environmentally less harmful, are low toxic, and are recyclable by design. And you see this, the various entry points of intervening towards a circular economy, which has to do, if you look at the value chain from material extraction through the design and manufacturing phase to distribution and use phase, there are various points of intervention. Some of them has to do with market development, where in many cases it is innovative to design products as a service, and therefore have products that are designed already to have a longer lifetime and are better serviceable. But obviously there are also many aspects of optimization, of repair, reuse, remanufacturing, or then ultimately recycling and waste to energy solutions. But all of those have to start from the design phase, and that is where we see the biggest role for bamboo. We consider bamboo value chains development a strategic priority because on the resource security, bamboo is highly regenerative, can be grown on degraded, sloping, marginal lands, which are not competing with other crops. Bamboo is known to grow vigorously and fast, to provide canopy and shade early on, to reach maturity in a comparably short time period, and from then on provides a perennial revenue stream and income every year. On the industrial transformation side, bamboo biomass provides a deforestation-free raw material and timber substitute that often can replace synthetic materials. And also in the earlier presentations, we saw many examples how the right technology may allow to convert bamboo in higher value addition products locally, including aspects of textile fiber, paper making, packaging materials, but also those markets for high-end biocomposites. We saw those examples of many of the resources required for urbanization, like pressure pipes, but also infrastructure and even energy technologies like wind turbine blades are done with those biocomposite materials that can be bamboo based. And those are areas where we see really opportunities for disruptive strategic innovation. Social impact of the bamboo industries are significant, as bamboo provides per annual income every year. So this makes it an attractive investment in processing facilities, even starting from relatively small scales. And overall, I think I would want to summarize that nurturing bamboo industries provides desirable entry paths towards knowledge-based regenerative circular bioeconomy, which has the potential to prevent or even reverse environmental degradation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Niels, for your briefness and also for giving the importance within the middle to making bamboo as a strategic priority, and we hope that we can work together more closer even to develop the bamboo industrial value chains in Africa. I want also to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Victor Jenba here with us today, who is also a good friend of Finbar. So thank you for coming and being with us the whole event. With that, I'd like to try to make one last presentation. Do we have time for 10 minutes? If you guys can stay with us 10 minutes more, we can just include the last presentation from Ms. Jianshan Liang, Mr. Jianshan Liang, the chairman of the board of Long Bamboo Technology Group, who will be talking about poverty alleviation and environmental benefits of bamboo through enterprise and cluster development. Thank you.
Expanding investment in poverty alleviation, bamboo industry, and enterprise development to improve livelihoods and the environment of the underdeveloped countries. I will discuss the topics of poverty alleviation, environmental protection, and the green economy here. I hope my sharing can bring you some inspiration. First of all, let me briefly introduce Long Bamboo Technology Group Company. Long Bamboo founded in 2010. The company is located in Nanping City of Fujian Province, which is known as First Sleep Bamboo Home. In November 2021, the company is listed on Beijing Stock Exchange, which is one of the best companies in China, the best company in Fujian Province, and even the best company in bamboo industry. Long Bamboo is a professional bamboo product enterprise engaged in bamboo materials development, bamboo technology innovation, bamboo production design and sales, and special bamboo equipment research and development. So far, enterprise development is inseparable from social responsibility, which is mainly divided into the following two directions. First direction is that technological innovation promotes the utilization of bamboo and leading the development. As we all know, bamboo is a low carbon fast-growing, easily renewable, and degradable biomass material. Establishing and improving the high-quality development model of the bamboo industry will help to improve the utilization efficiency and expand the application areas. Through technology research and development, the company continuously improves the utilization rate of bamboo materials and have developed new technologies, such as unmarked round bamboo flattening, high hardness bamboo grain skin sheet separation, and usually longitudinal bamboo slicing to achieve breakthroughs in utilization of whole bamboo. Among them, the company's two technologies have been identified as the international leading level by the China Forestry Products Industry Association. Compared with traditional technologies, our innovative technology can increase the utilization rate of bamboo from 20% to more than 60%, so that bamboo can be fully developed, which reducing the cost of the materials and enhancing the competitiveness of bamboo industry products. Adopting alternatives is one way to reduce plastic pollution. In a context of global plastic restrictions, the development of replacing plastic with bamboo is an exploration of the future development of not only Chinese bamboo industry, but also the global bamboo industry. At present, the company has developed bamboo saws, bamboo cups, bamboo knives, forks, and spoons, and other related bamboo products. We strive to make more new breakthroughs in bamboo processing technology and bamboo biotechnology, to develop more new products using bamboo instead of plastic, and to explore the fields of healthcare, construction, transportation, sports, and other new fields. The annual output of morsel bamboo in China is about 48 billion kilograms to 54 billion kilograms. There are about 20 billion kilograms of leftovers each year, and there are about 2 billion kilograms in Nanking. We plan to solve the comprehensive utilization of bamboo processing leftovers through the pyrolysis technology, produce carbon or generate electricity, hydrogen heat, and so on. Make biomass pellets to replace coal and other fuels, and develop healthy industries such as green edible fungi. The development of comprehensive utilization of bamboo leftovers recycling not only expands the field of bamboo industry, but also increases the green economy for the society, which truly realizing the zero separate of bamboo resources. The pyrolysis polygeneration project of bamboo leftovers / raw bamboo is developing has realized the green and low carbon development, and also has helped the country achieve the double carbon goal. Another direction for enterprise is related to social responsibility is that to take responsibility, build green industry, and benefit society. We advocate the concept of sustainable development to maintain the biodiversity of the ecosystem. Protecting the environment has become the consensus of the international community. In order to solve environmental pollution, promote energy conservation and emission reduction, and deal with climate change, it provides green and sustainable development based on nature. Raw bamboo builds a complete supply chain system from the initial processing of upstream raw material, the deep processing and the production of bamboo products in the midstream, to the sales of downstream bamboo products based on its own industrial advantages, taking 10,000 enterprises to first 10,000 villages as the important point to help the villages in which people. Long bamboo establishes connections with farmers through the form of company cooperative with the farmer households, radiating more than 200,000 hectare bamboo forests in Nanping and more than 20,000 bamboo farmers. Bamboo actively promotes FSC joint forest certification to improve the bamboo forest management level of bamboo farmers, to promote rural revitalization, to increase income, and to create tax revenue in the region. The company follows the principle of cultivating more talents, driving the economy, enriching the locals. Bamboo creates employment at home city opportunities in Nanping, provides more than 900 jobs, attracts more than 200 migrant workers to return to their hometown for employment. We actively build a two-way docking platform between enterprises and job applicants, and strive to increase the employment rate. We organize practical, technical training and educational studies to improve employees' labor skills and overall quality. The company seriously implements relevant national laws, regulations, and normative standards in environmental protection, energy saving and consumption reduction, safety protection, occupational health, and so on. Bamboo took a lead in establishment and certification of ISO 9001 forest management, ISO 14001 environmental management, ISO 50001 energy management, ISO 45001 occupational health and safety management. The FSC's forest system and other systems in bamboo industry, we adhere to implement green manufacturing projects. Long Bamboo builds a 1.8 megawatt distributed photovoltaic on factory roof, which is expected to save 600,000 kilograms of standard coal and 700,000 kilograms of carbon dioxide emissions this year, which is equivalent to plant about 1,000 trees. A beautiful country not only requires the country's efforts in the strategic development, but also requires everyone to follow a new concept of green and healthy life. Let's work together to promote the construction of a new, more beautiful, healthy, and sustainable green home. That's all my sharing. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Liang, for the presentation. I would like to, we already passed the time, so I would like to close by thanking all the participants who have been here with us today to the end, especially His Excellency Mr. Michael DUC, the Minister of Natural Resources and Climate Change of Malawi. Thank you very much for being with us today. I think we think it's very important, and we hope to support your country in the coming years to develop the bamboo industry, and we will take all the efforts necessary for doing that. Thank you very much. And I also want to thank our friends from Unido also for being here with us till the end. And one former INBAR staff, our intern from China, who is also joining us with us today. Thank you very much for being with us. And Director General Mchumo, our friend from Black, also thank you for being with us. And everyone who is at home, thank you for joining us. We don't have time to reply all your questions, but please send us by email. We will be able to reply you in the coming weeks. Thank you very much, everyone, and goodbye.